Door edges that are bent where a door has been forcefully opened into an object. Edges of hoods, edges of trunks where a hailstone is hit or perhaps something else has fallen on this edge. Anywhere there's a dent and there's a double seam or there's a folded over edge, in the past we have used some kind of imprecise and crude methods of repairing these. The method of choice, honestly for myself, was either in the past a flat bladed screwdriver if it was kind of a longish dent to try to bring that long dent up inside that double seam, or an awl, striking it with a hammer. That's what most of us have been doing all this time. If it was a door edge, we would hit it with a rubber mallet or a rubber hammer and then knock the high spot down that is a result of the edge being bent over. But this stuff is, I didn't realize how imprecise it was and how crude and how non-productive it was until I started looking for the answer and found the answer to these problems, and that is this edge tool that we're going to talk about. Now, why is this such a big deal? Before we get into the edge tool, let's talk about why this is just not as precise as it could be. Let's go to the chalkboard and look at a dent that is in a double seam. So you've got the skin here, and here's the dent, here's the double seam. Sometimes the double seam is bent also, and you can see that the seam is bent, and that's an advantage when using this. You can actually put it on the bent part and knock it up, but most of the time we can't see it because a lot of time it's in that sealer, the edge sealer that they put on there. Now, this thing, what we usually do is we line it up as good as possible, and it's not very precise, and if we are off just a bit and we push this skin up here, once we've pushed it up to the point where it's starting to touch and we see what's going on, even if we haven't bent the top metal, the skin, enough to really make that much of a difference, we've caused a huge problem. Why? Because metal moves in a linear fashion and not in a digital fashion. So when we come here, if this is already bent up, when we come right here to the right spot, we adjust with our screwdriver. When we knock this up, this metal has to move a bit also, and we're going to create a high spot. So this method is imprecise, and there has to be something better. So enter the edge jack. This thing is so awesome. Now, whenever we encounter a dent that's on an edge or a seam, we can use our mini lifters. They have a ton of power and a ton of control, precision in an issue like this, and we can gently lift these loads out. Now, what I do is I use a sharp tip on this interchangeable tip edge jack, and that gives a lot of precision to the tool. When you're pushing up these double skins, the double skin is going to deaden it a little bit, so whenever you're pushing on that double skin, you need something really sharp, and you'll actually see the skin moving a little bit, and before you actually do any damage. In the viewing window here, allows you to see what you're doing better, and again, you can see the skin moving as you can with like a conventional dent tool on a single panel skin. Tons of power, precision, vision, all these things make this tool insanely effective, and these once precarious and time-consuming pain-in-the-butt dents are now you can do them in seconds. You can see that this one dent, it was right on the edge of the wrap skin, but it was no issue to repair. Also, you can see that there was just minimal damage done to the backside compared to what we normally have with an awl and all that. So this thing's all aluminum, and it is seam dent awesomeness, and it's going to be available soon, so keep your eyes peeled, fellas.